My name is Joshua Appel. I'm the pastor at Trinity Reformed Church. I've also taught in college at New St. Andrews College, and I'm also one of the instructors at Redeemer School of the Arts in the Culinary Arts Department. My class is gastronomy, which is a history of food in the Bible. It's also a kind of sociological, philosophical, and cultural look at the importance of food in our lives. That's what I teach, and that class began as I started asking questions about food. I've always, of course, like everybody, loved food, but as I started noticing in my own life the importance of food around gatherings and meals and friends, I started to ask myself or think, I wonder if I could teach a class on food, and started to look into resources and just discovered that the Bible has so many amazing things to say about the importance of food in our relationship with God and in our relationship with one another. And so as I started to teach that class over the years, just discovered more and more things about the centrality of food in culture, but also in us understanding the Lord and also the world that He's made. One of the things that I found interesting at the beginning was the passage that was sort of the window into the subject for me was the post-resurrection accounts of Jesus. Almost all involve food. In fact, one of the famous ones in Luke is when Jesus is speaking to the disciples on the road to Emmaus. And remember, He gives them that great sermon, the greatest sermon that we've never heard, on how the Old Testament speaks about Him. But interestingly, the disciples don't recognize that it's Jesus. Their hearts burn within them, but they don't recognize Him until they sit down and have a meal together. And it's in the breaking of the bread that they suddenly see and understand that it's Jesus. The remarkable thing about food in the garden is that God is the one who feeds man. And food is a gift from His hand that relates us uniquely to Him. So it's not just taking in calories to power our bodies. Food is communion, fellowship with God. So first of all, then, if you see that picture from Genesis, that the act of food, God giving food to man, is the first act of hospitality. That's what hospitality is, the welcome of God's creation into His presence and the promise to sustain and fill. So food isn't just God gives food, He gives Himself. And it's that table, which unsurprisingly, is the Eucharistic table, where God welcomes us as undeserving recipients of His grace, delights and rejoices over us, and feeds us again with the heavenly food, which then becomes the pattern for our own tables. So the early fathers wrote a great deal about hospitality. And when they wrote about it this way. Hospitality is the welcome of the stranger. It's the welcoming of the person who isn't at your table, and it's saying, just in the same way that the Lord has welcomed me undeservingly to His table, I welcome you to my table. I want to show you the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ. But the heart of what makes a biblical chef, if I may call it that someone who is on fire, not only with the love of the world, the way God has made it, and wanting to create and elevate their taste so that they approve of the things that are excellent and are able to make those things and share them with others, is the part of recognizing that God has given us these things, not so that we might just spend them on ourselves, but so that we might generously share the wonder of what He has given in the world with other people. In the Supper of the Lamb, Father Capon says that the amateur's responsibility is to love the world for what it is. So it's not to impose our own meanings on the world. It's to actually taste and see how gracious the Lord is in the gifts that He has given to us in creation. And the first and foremost reason why we need to develop taste is because the Lord has made a world of magnificent splendor. When it says taste and see how gracious the Lord is, there's a comparative there. We need to see and understand just how amazing the gifts that He has given to us are. And that means that in the realm of human endeavor, whether it be music or art or literature or food, there are good things, and there are also great things. And the ability to be able to understand that, to taste and see and understand, is what the cultivation of our abilities as those who have been given these great gifts of God, that's what our responsibility is. the thing that I love to say to my gastronomy students is, I want you to be when you're in the presence of greatness, to know it. You need to be able to know it and taste it and see and know this is, like, there's good things here, but this is extraordinary. Why? Because that's the way the Lord is. He is the greatest, and He has made things of all different kinds and varieties, and our judgment is supposed to be developed so that we can taste and appreciate, or as Paul says, approve of the things that are excellent. We don't learn to be excellent so that we can be snobs, like Ego and Ratatouille, just sort of looking over and looking down on everything. You can't do that when you recognize that everything's been given to you as an act of grace. You don't deserve it. You are rich because of God's extraordinary generosity. That's what produces humility. But we dare not mistake humility for the calling to actually grow our tastes so that we know what and truly are able to approve of the things that are excellent. Because that gives us an ability then, as Capon says, food's most temporary work is keeping our bodies alive. What we will need forever is taste. And so we are in the process of training and developing our abilities to taste and see how gracious the Lord is. And that's why we work hard at this. That's why we work hard, so that we have the ability to appreciate, not so that we have the ability to stand over other people through pride, think of ourselves as better than them, but so that we might be able to fully grasp all that God has given to us.